Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and a very happy Wednesday to you all. A DK show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios this morning. Whether you are listening on the radio dials of 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online at sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. You got the app. Download it, take it on the go, your smart devices, smart speakers, and, of course, the video stream that is up and rolling here this morning on a, well, depending on where you're listening to us from, a stormy, wet beginning to your start. So be a little weather aware today. Probably a good idea throughout, not just this morning, but throughout the day here. So, all right, what do we got on our game plan for us this morning? What do we have on the game plan for us? We're going to talk some Brewers. Brewers locking up another young minor league player. Louis Lara getting a 7-year deal. Another player yet to make his major league debut, but Lara agreeing to a 7-year deal. Contract now nothing official, but sources are saying that the contract will guarantee about $31 million with the potential to max out at $78 million with all the incentives. And according to Brewers.com, could realistically net north of $63 million if all options are exercised and Lara performs at a star level over the course of the deal. So maybe a little bit of a surprise. I'll admit it. I was a little surprised. Because I don't know, just like some of the outfield depth and Garrett, like my first question or first thought went to, all right, who's in trouble at this point? Whose job's potentially in jeopardy? Is it Garrett Mitchell? Could it be Sal Frelick? Now Lara has been playing center field, so maybe it is Mitchell, considering Mitchell's just a little bit older than Sal Frelick as well. So, but I mean, the way Lara has been playing at AAA Nashville, I mean, the switch hitting prospect has just been having a fantastic season so far, hitting .338. He's got an OPS of a .948, 19 stolen bases, 7 home runs so far this year too. So yeah, he's a little bit on the smaller side, listed about 5'7", but he's been displaying a little bit more pop, a little bit more power in his bat this year. So add him to the list with Cooper Pratt. And maybe we're just kind of waiting and seeing if or when he's going to make his debut, when he's going to be called up. He was added to the 40-man roster after this too, so maybe just kind of a wait-and-see approach. But another young prospect for the Brewers getting locked up for the next few seasons. So he's going to be, long-term wise, he's there with Jackson and now Cooper Pratt. So like it. Thoughts on it? Let me know. Hit me up. Okay? Shoot it on over. Text it on over. 715-830-1912. Or you can join in on the video stream as well. Comment on the Section 105 chat room. But Brewers last night, game-wise, falling in Game 2 to the Athletics, 7-5. Robert Gasser getting charged with a loss, now 0-3 on the season. But he ended up going 5 innings, giving up 8 hits, 6 earned runs. Did strike out 7, but in that ballpark gave up 4 home runs too. So, but Garrett Mitchell, collecting 3 hits for the Crew. Yelich collected a couple of hits as well. So just 8 total hits for the Brewers last night and 5 runs. But the Brewers striking out 13 times last night. Contreras leading the way, striking out 3 times. So Brewers will go for the series win tonight. 8:05. Brandon Sproat is going to get the start for the Brew Crew. So, and then Perkins going to be getting Jack Perkins going to be getting the start for the Athletics. We'll preview that game coming up here in just a little bit too. Plenty of baseball, plenty of Brewers chat for you this morning. Also on the docket here, we'll chat a little green and gold as the Packers had a little practice yesterday. So we'll go through some of the comments from newly extended, I should say, Christian Watson. What he had to say, Jordan Love comments, Matt LaFleur comments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll go through some of that coming up a little bit later on as we chat a little green and gold. Also on the docket, we'll get the latest, another rumor/report, whatever the heck you want to call it, surrounding Giannis with the NBA draft coming our way. Just a couple of weeks now. Got another rumor report out there. So we'll hit that up as, we're technically less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft. But we'll chat a little bit about that. We'll continue our 250 countdown. 250 countdown moments, players, coaches, games, plays, all that stuff that defines American sports from the last 250 years. So we'll continue that countdown. With it being Wednesday, we're going to play a little what if coming up later on too. So make sure you're listening to that. And then we're going to do another new segment called What Are We Doing Here? What are we doing here? So I want to give away some cards here today from one of our listeners, Paul, again. So let's give away a few cards here. So we're going to do it based off of participation points here on this Wednesday morning. So how do you participate? You just give me your thoughts. You throw out some answers, some opinions, some takes, some questions, all that fun stuff. Just participate. All right, you'll be in the running for that. So that's your game plan for us this morning. Going to be dabbling into a little bit of everything here. So let's pitter patter. Let's get at her, shall we? We'll take it for. Oh, should also note really quick, Carolina last night in the Stanley Cup Final, picking up a 5-3 victory, so they evened up that series. The NBA Finals continues with Game 4 tonight. Also for a little local. We've got the Express picked up a win last night, so they're going to be back. We'll see what the weather looks like, but they'll be back at Carson Park tonight, taking on the Badlands Big Sticks. And then we do have the state softball tournament officially begins today with Division I, with some teams that maybe just kind of on the outside of right on the fringe of our listening area and such. But that's with Division I, a couple games. We'll see Marshfield taking on Muskego, Stevens Point taking on Appleton North. High school baseball yesterday. Some teams that punched their ticket to state include River Falls, Somerset, St. Croix Falls, Marathon Loyal, and Columbus Catholic. So congrats to all those teams that will be moving on. But all right, let's get things going here this morning. Starting off on the leadoff, let's talk a little Brew Crew baseball. Your thoughts, your opinions on the Crew. Lock it up. Louis Lara, whose maybe job is in jeopardy with the Brewers. Lock it up, Lara. Is it Garrett Mitchell? Could it be Sal Frelick? Is it somebody else? What do you think? All right, let me know. Text it on over, 715-830-1912. Or again, hit us up on the Section 105 chat room. We'll recap last night's loss and look ahead to the series finale against the A's with Brandon Sproat on the mound. So Brewers talk, baseball talk, coming up on the leadoff. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Summer road trips create great memories, but sometimes accidents happen. If a fender bender puts a dent in your plans, trust Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire to get your vehicle looking like new again. Their experienced team provides quality collision repair and attention to detail that helps restore your vehicle and your peace of mind. When life bumps into your vehicle, count on Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire. And, today, too, be weather aware, might have some strong storms that could produce some hail and such. So if that's the case, if that were to be the case and your vehicle maybe suffers some hail damage, either, next day or so or this summer during storm season and such, just know that our good friends at Superior Auto Body are there to help make your vehicle look good as new. Superior Auto Body located North Farwell Street in Eau Claire. All right, let's get things going here this morning on the leadoff. We'll talk, first of all, good morning to everybody who's already chiming in saying good morning out there, so appreciate that. Let's talk some Brewers to open it up. And before we get to the game itself, a little bit of I'll be honest, I was surprised. I was surprised to see the news come across that Louis Lara is now locked up for 7 years. I was a little, I'll admit, I'm a little surprised with that. That was something I was not expecting to see the Brewers. But I was also surprised about Cooper Pratt. So it's like every time I feel like I've got maybe the Brewers figured out or such, and I'm just, they do another thing out there. We were just talking about Louis Lara. Could he be potentially involved in some trade talks with whether it was a Tarek Skubal or anybody else? But we were kind of doing the same thing with Cooper Pratt. So maybe we just have to kind of go at this, whatever we think the Brewers are going to do, kind of the opposites in this situation. But, my first thought was, all right, lock up Lara. He's obviously been playing incredibly well at the minor league level at AAA this year. I mean, dude is raking. He's a great defensive player. He has improved in power so far this year. Almost kind of sounds like Bryce Terang in a sense, doesn't it? Defense right away, and then it's kind of improved a little bit in the pop in his bat. So, but, my mind kind of instantly went straight to, all right, whose job is in trouble? Is it Garrett Mitchell? Is it Sal Frelick? Yeah, because eventually, you don't sign Lara to this type of deal unless he is a, full-time starter, and eventually he will. It depends on how soon that may be. But so first of all, I asked our good buddy Mr. Bergen, Mr. Brandon Bergen. We'll get his thoughts on Friday, but he's one of my go-to Brewers peeps out there. And I just kind of asked, general thoughts on his deal, and he said pretty straightforward. He's a high floor guy because of his great defense. That is flashing some good offensive skills this year as a younger AAA player, even if he only ends up as a defensive-heavy outfielder with speed and an okay bat. That's a good value for the money. So I asked who he thought was going to be maybe whose job is in trouble. Immediately neither, but may lean towards Mitchell. He's older, and Lara is a center field first. Frelick has more of a track record of production, even if this year hasn't gone well. So maybe that is the case. So does that mean potentially now we're getting way into the weeds here at this point? But I mean, okay, we're talking about trades. We're talking about trade deadlines. We're talking about moves to get players to help this year and such. Does that, with a Cooper Pratt waiting in the wings, a Jet Williams still down there, and now Lara eventually will be with the Major League club, does that make it, we've been talking about different trade scenarios and could they trade, from their minor league system. Now you kind of look at it and I wonder, could they maybe include guys that are playing right now at the Major League level? Does that mean Garrett Mitchell could be on the trading block, could be a part of a trade to bring somebody else in, whether it is a pitcher or a third baseman or another batter or something? Do you mess with that this year? Is that something that you maybe do in the offseason so you don't, I guess, mess with the team chemistry? It puts a lot of different options on the table now. But what I think it does signify, though, too, Pratt ain't getting dealt, and now Lara is not getting dealt by the Brewers. But I think it opens up that door now, that possibility that a guy like maybe Garrett Mitchell could potentially be on the move. Whether it's this year or next offseason. I feel like it might be more so next offseason. But unless they get a deal where they just can absolutely say, yeah, we can't pass this up, then never say never. Because Brewers have already made some moves this year, before the season and during the season, that I think have surprised quite a few players or quite a few people out there. But I think, and then that throws in, I don't know what you'd get in return possibly, but with Cooper Pratt, you throw in a Joey Ortiz, throw in some other players involved. But, when you sign these guys, these younger dudes to these long-term deals, it opens up the door to trade possibilities for some veterans who are playing right now at this very moment. So, but again, I was a little surprised that they actually did this because, Garrett Mitchell is a player that came in too with a lot of hype, excitement, expectations, but the beginning of his career has been derailed by injuries. We know this. We've talked about it at length. But this year he's been able to stay healthy, and he's been able to produce, and he's had some good moments, especially from the offensive side. Defensively, I don't know. It just maybe a little bit of a step slower. I just and maybe I'm just being too hard. And I expected, this center fielder that could cover a ton of ground and make these great plays. And not to say he hasn't made good plays out there, but I guess, I don't know, I'm just a little underwhelmed from some of the things that I've seen defensively on the defensive side. And if you've seen any highlights from Lara and such, I mean, that guy covers a lot of ground. He might be only 5'7", but he covers a lot of ground out in center field. So maybe that was part of it too. It just I don't know if losing a step is or his loss a step is the right way to kind of describe Mitchell. It just I guess I'm feeling a little feeling I want more. I want to see more. A little. But looking at Mitchell's numbers so far this year, 247, OPS was 758, on base is a 356. So his average is not a whole lot. He's pretty darn close to averaging this year what he does, what he has throughout his career. And I get it, it's not the biggest sample size out there, but this year he's 247. He's a career 252 hitter. On base this year he's 356, career 340. OPS this year is 758, career 764. And when you look at, he's played in 56 games so far this season. The most he has played in a season was in 2024 when he played 69 games. So he's 13 games away from that, and he's 22 at-bats away from matching that. And if you kind of look at it, he's 7 hits away. He had 50 hits that season when he hit 255. He had 8 home runs that year compared to just 3 this year. He's got more RBIs this year compared to 2024. And he has walked a little bit, he has walked 3 more times under 2. But he's already struck out more this year than he did in 2024. He's got 74 strikeouts compared to 71. And just 6 stolen bases so far. He had 11 in that 2024 season too. So maybe the Brewers just kind of see something with Garrett Mitchell where they're just like, not quite sure he's going to maybe reach that potential that we thought and a lot of people thought just a couple of years ago. Maybe they're seeing something that just it's not sitting right with them. because it seems like that was the case with Isaac Collins, Caleb Durbin, why they traded those two guys in the offseason. They probably thought, hey, we don't think that they're going to be able to match that level that we saw this year, so let's sell high, get something high in return. And when you look at those two players so far, I mean, Isaac Collins this year is hitting .212 with 3 home runs. Caleb Durbin, .193 with 1 home run. Compare that to last year, those two guys. I mean, you were talking about Rookie of the Year finalists. Brewers, right now at least, look like they got that one right. So, when you see these moves, when you see these contracts of signing these younger players who don't have any experience, do you give Matt Arnold, do you give the Brewers the benefit of the doubt? You know, when they did this with Jackson Cheerio, the thought was like, okay, they're kind of taking a page a little bit out of some teams. The Braves were mentioned as an example, you know, locking up these younger players on long-term deals. It's a big risk, and they did it with Freddie. You know, they did a little bit with Aaron Ashby, taking some risks, but given the payroll and given, you know, that they're not a team that's going to spend a lot of money. I remember we had this discussion, you know, a couple of years ago. Is this the way that the Brewers are going to go and operate for years to come? Well, now they've done it with Cooper Pratt, and now they've done it with Lara, and it sure seems like that's going to be the case. You know, you got to imagine Jesus Mate is probably going to be one of the next people up to get this type of deal. Now, he's got a little bit more, you know, ways to go still with the Timber Rattlers, but I mean, if he gets to AA or even AAA fairly soon here, you would imagine that he's going to be one of the next guys to get that long-term deal. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll talk a little bit about the game last night and take a look ahead to Game 3 tonight, the series finale. We'll take a quick break and be back after these few words. Looking for the perfect summer hangout? Well, then you need to make your way on over to the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire. Enjoy some beautiful views overlooking the river, some great food, some cold beverages, and some of the best live local music that you will find anywhere in the Chippewa Valley. Whether you're meeting some friends after work or spending some summer evenings outdoors, the VFW Post 305 is the place to be. Great views, great music, great times. That's the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire. Brewers last night falling to the A 7-5. The A's again with a little displaying a little power in that ballpark, their minor league ballpark again last night. You had Robert Gasser picking up his third loss on the season. He went 5 innings, giving up 8 hits and 4 home runs. The A's hitting a total of 5 home runs last night. Brewers only picking up 1 home run last night, and that was Jackson Cheerio in the first inning. But otherwise, I mean, Brewers jumped out to that 2-1 or 2-0 lead. Athletics chipped away, cut it in half after the first, and then took the lead in the second. Brewers tied it up in the fourth. But the Athletics putting up 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it was a little bit of a back and forth there for a hot minute. Athletics took that 3-run lead, then the Brewers got 2 back, but then Athletics put it up 1 more in the bottom of the 6th, and that was it for the scoring, and that was it for the Athletics. That's all they needed to come away with a 7-5 victory. Christian Yelich picking up a couple of hits again last night. Mitchell collecting 3 hits as well. So you look at, Christian Yelich here. Let's talk a little. We haven't really talked a lot about Christian Yelich and really what he has done from an offensive side here for the Brewers lately. But in his last 66 at-bats, Christian Yelich is hitting .318 with a .392 on-base percentage and slugging .409. If you go back to just his last 34 at-bats, Christian Yelich is hitting .324 with an on base of a .395 and slugging at .382. He's got 4 home runs so far this season. Maybe for South, not hitting with the power that they'd like, kind of from last year, but he did miss some time in that. But is it fair to say that Christian Yelich is having a quiet, solid season? I mean, the month of June, he's really been hitting the ball incredibly well. So far in the month of June, he's hitting .359. His on base is a .432, and he is slugging .410. Now, he hasn't had a home run yet in the month of June. But you compare it to, May. All right, he missed about a month's worth. So, I mean, May 12th through May 31st, he hit just .208, had 3 home runs. In April, I mean, he was playing pretty darn well, too, up until he got hurt. He was hitting .294, .351 on base, and a .412 slugging. No home runs in the month of April. So it's kind of, when you look at how the season has gone so far for Christian Yelich from an offensive standpoint, it's kind of, if you throw in the few games in March there, he was .353 and 5 games and 1 home run. Then April, .294, hitting the ball, getting on base, no home runs. May, hitting home runs, average was a little bit low, but now so far in June, the average is up, but not hitting home runs. But overall, this season, he's .287, 21 RBIs, 4 home runs, and OPS was .788, on base of a .354. His average is a couple points higher than his career .285. His OPS is down. He's a career .838, so far .788 this year. His on base is 20 points down, .374 compared to .354 this year. But is it fair to say Yelich still is kind of quietly having a solid season from the plate? I think that's fair. And I know we've talked about it before, but I like the first 5. I think it's time you have to include Bowers into this because of the season that he is having, hitting .283 and 12 home runs. I mean, his last 21 at-bats, he's hit 3 home runs and .333 and slugging .857. But I like the first 5, and it feels like, heck, maybe even 6 if you want to throw Vaughn in there, if Vaughn and Bowers are in the lineup together. But whatever variation they have, if it's Yelich hitting leadoff, Cheerio hitting leadoff, Terang hitting leadoff, it seems like they've settled on their first 4 for sure, with Yelly at that leadoff, Cheerio at 2, Terang at 3, and Contreras at 4. Then you throw in Bowers and Vaughn. I've seen them both where Vaughn maybe 5 if Bowers isn't playing, or Bowers is playing 5, and if Vaughn's playing, he's 6. It feels like they've kind of settled on that first half of the lineup. And I like it. They just need a little bit more consistent production from those final 3. And that includes my dude, Sal Frelick. Like to get a little bit more from Sal here, from Salvatore. Got to get a little bit more production from him. So game 3, series finale tonight. Brandon Sproat is getting the starts. And I know a couple of peeps out there said surprised he's getting another start. I think a lot of it just is you kind of look at some of the injuries that the Brewers have with their starters. Coleman Crow last night pitched 2 innings coming out of the pen. So I think it's really a numbers game at this point. Logan Henderson still banged up. Brandon Woodruff still banged up. And I think that's where we're at here. So hopefully he's got a good start in him tonight. I mean, you look at the lineups and the hitting lineups going up against these pitchers, there really isn't anything. I mean, yeah, nothing to really write home about. On the flip side, you've got Perkins going for the A's, Jack Perkins, and he's coming off of his latest game on the 5th against the Astros. He picked up a loss. He went 4 innings, gave up 5 earned runs. Now, Perkins has appeared in 18 games so far, but has started just one of those games, and that was his latest outing back on the 5th against the Astros. Otherwise, I mean, this is a guy that is coming out of the pen and has given this team an inning or a couple innings of relief. Back on the 25th against Seattle, he did go out there for 4 2/3. He gave up 2 earned runs, but this Houston game where he gave up the 5 earned runs, that was the most he has given up in an outing. You go back to April 13th, he did give up 4 in an inning and 2/3 against Texas. So this will be just his second start for this season for the Athletics. So can the Brewers offense, jump at him, get after him? He doesn't have a ton of starting experience. Last year for the Athletics, he started 4 games. He appeared in 12 games. He started 4 of those. He was 3-2 with a 4.19 ERA, but he pitched just 38 2/3 of an innings. He's already at 32 innings so far this year. So can the offense maybe just kind of rattle him right away and put up some early run supports for Brandon Sproats? And Sproat coming off that game against Colorado where he had the no decision. He went 5 innings, but he gave up 7 hits, 3 earned runs, and a couple of walks and just a couple of strikeouts. Brandon Sproat, to me, still is that guy that is probably going to get you, if you can get 5 out of him, and hopefully not really any big crooked numbers that he's given up, just go out there, get you 5, maybe 2 turns through the rotation, ideally maybe 3, without giving up a lot of runs, especially if you could get 3 turns through the lineup card with Brandon Sproat tonight with the wear and tear of the bullpen. I think that would be a huge win, but he's got to have his stuff. He's got to have his stuff tonight. Otherwise, we have seen with this ballpark, games can get out of hand very quickly from the offensive side. So there's an added element, or there's an added amount of pressure on Brandon Sproat tonight to make sure that he is on. Because if he's not, this ballpark, it could get ugly for him. So hopefully he's on, but hopefully the Brewers offense is on too. All right, we got to take a quick break as we start to wrap up the first hour already. We'll be back after these quick words. Summer is here, and that means it is the perfect time to give your home a fresh new look with Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire. Whether you are updating a family room, finishing a basement, refreshing a bedroom, or finally tackling that remodeling project that you've been putting off, Carpet City Flooring Center has the flooring options you're looking for, from beautiful luxury vinyl planks to carpets, tile, and more. You'll find quality products and expert guidance every single step of the way. Their experienced team will help you find the right flooring that fits your style, your budget, and your lifestyle too. They've done that for me how many times? And with professional installation available, your project can be completed quickly and correctly. Make this the summer you transform your home. Stop on in to Carpet City Flooring Center in Eau Claire today and discover why so many area homeowners trust Carpet City Flooring Center for all of their flooring needs. Carpet City Flooring Center, helping you love where you live. Brewers, by the way, tonight with the series finale. First pitch is going to be at 8:05. You can listen to it on the radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Coverage will begin at about 7:30 tonight as the Brewers looking to get a series win before returning home and beginning should be a big, fun weekend series welcoming the Philadelphia Phillies to town here. So, and I know we've touched on it a few times already, but this upcoming portion of the schedule, and not to overlook the A's by any means, but you look at Phillies, you look at Guardians, and then the Braves. Throw in the Reds a couple times, and then the Cubbies. This is going to be a very tough finish to the month of June. Very tough finish to the month of June. So, but hey, they did it in May, going up against some really good teams, and they did a fantastic job, a fantastic month of May. So, Brewers want to show that they're a real force in this in Major League Baseball, a real contender. Well, let's see them go up against some of these teams, Cleveland, Phillies, Braves, and pick up a bunch of wins too. So, but we'll get to that point after we take care of business, after the Brewers take care of business against the A's tonight. Hopefully picking up a win and hopefully picking up that series win before returning home. But again, 8:05 tonight. Coverage will begin at about 7:30 on 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Coming up a little bit later on, we'll continue our top 250 countdown. We'll talk a little Giannis Bucks. We're less than 2 weeks away from the NBA draft, which is that soft deadline. We do have another kind of rumor / report, whatever you want to kind of term it at this point. But we'll tell you what that is, what's being floated out there. So as we are inching closer and closer and closer to, you would think, a decision. You would think, some finality to the whole situation, whether he's going to be gone or whether he's going to be, whether he's going to be re-signing with the Bucks or whatever the case may be. So, but we'll get to that coming up a little bit later on. It is Wednesday too, so I do have a little what if I want to throw out your way, and then what do we do? And I'll explain what that segment is. What are we doing here? It's a Wednesday. What are we doing here? So, hey, if you have any good what if situations, I'm an open book. Send them on over. Well, I'll throw it out to the rest of the peeps out there. If you got a good what if, like what if Bucks trade the trade Giannis? Then what? Or what if the Bucks re-sign Giannis? How about that? Maybe that's the better one. What if the Bucks re-sign Giannis? And if that's the case, what else should they do? What else should they do? So that's just kind of an example out there. If you got any good what ifs, send them on over. So, all right, just a couple minutes left to the top of the hour here. We've got a quick text from Rando. Heard 3 team options. Are they included in the 7-year contract or are those after? Are you talking about the Lara deal? So Lara, had 3 team options. So it's club options, 3 club options afterwards. So not I looked it up earlier, and there really isn't any values reported on those club options yet at this point. So, but there is a little bit more team protection after that too. So, I mean, if Lara goes out there and plays at a superstar level, an MVP type of level and such, there could be that could be another hopefully bargain type of deal for the Brewers if they get to that point. Let me see if Jackson has any of those too. I feel like Jackson might have that. So Jackson does have 2 club options that start in 2032. 2032 and 2033, but payroll does go up to $25 million. So just got 1 minute. Good morning, Morgs.
Yeah, right, Casper. Wednesday wild card. You got to pick a number between 1 and 32.
We'll go 32.
What is the biggest accomplishment that you can't put on a resume?
Being a dad.
Okay, that's a pretty one.
Yeah.
Then how about this? Is competitive eating a sport?
No.
Not at all.
No.
People that argue that it is?
Come on.
Joey Chestnut?
Just stop.
I agree. It's not a competitive sport.
No.
It's kind of gross.
It is very gross.
1 and 32. You get another one.
What's the benefit of it? What's the purpose of it?
Keeps plumbers in business, I'm guessing.
Something. I don't know.
The best piece of advice that you would give younger Casper?
Didn't you do this one to me last time?
Yeah, but you said you were going to get back to us.
And I forgot about it.
Well, tell him not to be a liar.
Maybe that's the best advice.
Tell him not to be a liar.
Follow through and don't procrastinate. There you go. Get your homework done.
Don't lie to your friends.
Yes. Don't wait till the last minute to get things done.
To answer questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Thanks,
advice.
Morgs. We got to take a quick break. We've got news updates. We'll be back after these few words.